Hi, I'm Tara, and today I'm going to be showing you a full body application using the Famous Dave's Pro Series Mousse. This is one of my favorite ways to apply self tanner because it's so fast drying and easy to apply, and I use it with the Famous Dave's Med as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our chest and arms and neck. I'm going to be wearing gloves. This is just a preference of mine. You don't necessarily have to wear gloves when applying the mousse, especially if you're using a mitt. So one thing that I like to do before I start using the mousse, or any self tanner for that matter, is there's some dry spots on our body that you might not be aware of that I've come to find through self tanning that are drier than most areas of the body. So those spots are going to be right here by your armpits in the front and in the back. And I like to apply a body butter or a thick lotion there. And then obviously you want to apply a lotion to your elbows to create a barrier between your skin and the self tanner. So I just use a thick body butter for that. And I'm going to go ahead and apply it to those areas. I just take a little bit of my gloves and put it right on the area. And you don't have to worry about not being able to self tan there. It's going to go right through anyway. And it'll just be a nicer color and more even, because self tanner, typically if it gets onto a dry spot on your skin, it's going to leave a darker pigmentation. Okay. I'm going to apply to the elbows, and then we'll get started with the mousse. Okay, and I'll be using my Famous Dave's Met, of course, with the mousse. And I'm going to be starting with my right arm. And I'm going to apply 2 pumps into the mousse. And I'm going to start with my upper arm and shoulder area. I'm going to work my way up my neck. And you don't want to forget your ears either. Just rub a little bit of the excess onto your ears and the back. And I'm just going in circular motions. And the mousse is going to be quickly drying. So that's a really nice feature with the mousse. I'm just going to move right across there. I'm going to apply one more pump to do the front of my chest. And then I'm going to go behind my ear on the left and over my ear. And then I'm going to switch hands. Grab some more mousse. Finish my chest. And work on my left shoulder. Get the back area as well. Okay. Then I'm going to take about 2 pumps of the mousse and do my left arm. And I'm going to go straight down my arm with the product, just in sweeping motions, and then I'm going to go in circular motions just to cover the bigger area. Just move your mitt around until you feel that mousse drying, going into your skin. Then I'm going to do the underside of the arm, and I'm going to use 1 pump for the underside because typically we're not as tan on that side of our arm. But it's your preference if you want to use 2 pumps. My arms just are smaller on that side, so I like to do just 1 pump. Okay, and then we're going to move to the right arm. So again, we're going to put 2 pumps on. We're going to go straight down the top of the arm, big sweeping motions, and then go into our circular motions. And just lightly go over your elbow. You don't want to put too much product there. But you do have that barrier if you use the lotion. And I'm going to grab 1 more pump and do the inside of my arm. And then for your neck, just to make sure it's nice and even, I take about half a pump and go over the neck area right up to the jawline. And if you're not self-tanning your face, you can make a nice line there. I will be self-tanning my face though with the mousse. But you just want to make a nice line right across your jawline and just gently sweep down And using the mitt is going to give you a flawless finish, so you won't have to worry about streaking. All right, let's move on to our back. So you want to go ahead and grab your mitt and put it on the back of your hand, and you're going to be able to reach behind your back to the center and get the middle part of your back just by rubbing like this. And the rest you'll be able to get by reaching over your shoulder. So let's go ahead and get started. You can go ahead and put a pump right onto your mitt or two, and reach it right to the back. Run that in. You're going to go ahead and pump it right here. Reach your top, your shoulder, and you're going to reach behind. Then you want to go right across the back of your neck as well. And you're going to switch hands. Try to press. Rub it in. And I'm going to start with my foot, and then I'm going to work my way up to my calf and my thigh. And I'm going to start by applying body butter to my knee and my foot. So I'm going to put right there just to create that nice barrier for any dry spots I may have. And I've already cleansed and exfoliated my skin, but I like to put the lotion on just to make an even tan. And I'm going to apply a generous amount to my feet because they are dry. So, and there's, you can't use too much. You're still going to get a nice tan from it. So I like to apply that right in between my toes, up onto my ankles, and on my Achilles as well. Then I'm going to grab a cosmetic wedge, and you can find these at any grocery store. And it's just nice to apply when you're applying to your feet or your hands, and you can just get a nice even tan in an easier application. So what I like to do is apply it right to the sponge, one nice pump. Then I'm going to put it on the center of my foot, and then I'm going to just work the product around in the areas that I want to be tan, and I have more control over that. And don't forget to go onto your toes, and you can just go lightly over those, and then you can take the wedge and put it in between your toes as well so that you don't have any white webs, and you can take that wedged part and just go right in there. Make sure you get a nice even tan, and just lightly go over your toes, and then you can take a wipe if you have a pedicure and just wipe off the tips of your fingernails or toenails when you're doing your hands or feet. I'm just going to work that product around and up onto the ankles and Achilles as well. Then I'm going to slip on my mitt, and we're going to start with our calf. I'm going to go ahead and apply one nice pump for the calf. And I'm going to bring that up on my leg in upward strokes. And then go in circular motions just to rub it in. And it's going to dry nice and fast. I really like using the mousse because it's just such an easy, quick application. So I put about 2 pumps on there. And I'm going to go in the back and just bring it around to the front in the nice circular motion and stroke upwards. And then lightly, I'm going to take the excess and go over my knee. You don't want your knee to have too much product on it because it will seep in if you have dry knees. Then I'm going to apply 1 pump and just go over my thigh. And on the back. And it's as simple as that, and I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to set these down, and I'm going to grab my body butter and apply it to my knee. And I'm going to apply some to my foot as well. Nice generous amount on the feet. especially if you have dry feet like me. You don't want too much product soaking into those dry spots. And I'm going to take my cosmetic wedge, pump some mousse out onto it, and then I'm going to put it right in the center and just work that product around. I'm going to go onto the toes gently, and then take the wedge part and go in between my toes, just so you have a nice natural looking tan. And go along the sides of the foot where your tan would naturally go, and move up onto the Achilles and ankles, and we're going to go onto the calf again. I'm going to take one nice pump and go onto the front and upward strokes. Then I'm going to rub it in circular motions, and I'm going to take 2 pumps and go from the back and go up and move it around in circular motions, and then take the excess from the 2 pumps and lightly go over my knee. That's why I do 2 pumps in the back, because I know I'm going to also tan my knee with that. And then I go for a couple pumps for my thigh. And just rub that nice in. And it dries so quickly. It's such a nice product for people on the go or just want to quickly get your tan on. All right, let's move on to the hands. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our hand, and I'm going to apply the body butter to my hand, and I apply a nice thick amount, especially onto the knuckles, and you just want to get that nice and in there and moisturized, and especially on your wrists too, because those can really soak up some color, and that'll be a tall tale sign that you've been self-tanning. So you want to bend your knuckles too, make sure that that's getting right in there in those dry areas, and in between your fingers as well, in the wedges and the webs. Then I have my cosmetic sponge with me again. I like to use this to apply to my hand for an accurate application. I'm going to go ahead and take my cosmetic wedge, and I'm going to put it in my hand, and I'm going to pump just a little bit onto that wedge. Take it with my hand with the gloves, and I'm going to place it right in the center on the back of my hand. I'm just going to work the product around my hand. This is going to give you a nice light application, and you want to avoid putting too much on your knuckle area because it will soak it in. You want to go ahead and get your thumb, the outside of your hand, and you can go ahead and draw a line with the wedge and put it right there in the center as well. And then lightly go over your fingers. And if you have a manicure, you can go ahead and wipe your hands off with tissue right on your nails. That'll get rid of any excess tanner. You just want to go gently over there, and then you want to go ahead and bend your fingers and apply it over your hands. And then you want to go ahead and put the wedged part of the sponge right into the middle of your fingers to disperse any excess product in there so it's nice and tan. Then you can put a little bit more on there and do your wrists. And you can bend and open your wrists too, so the tanner gets dispersed into any of those wrinkles. And there you have it. And that's how you would tan your other hand as well. Before applying the mousse to my face, there are a few steps I like to take before applying the tanner. The first one is I like to apply a lip balm. This creates a barrier between my lips and the mousse itself. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my own face moisturizer, and I'm going to apply some right into my eyebrows and then along my hairline as well. And that creates a barrier between your hairline and the tanner so that there's no different pigmentation into your hair. Then I'm going to use my cosmetic wedge to apply. Typically I apply about 1 pump per cheek and then 1 for my forehead. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on the wedge. And I'm going to start on my cheek, and I'm going to work my way down. And I avoid the eye area because I have dark pigmentation there already, so I don't need to enhance that. And you just want to be careful around your eye area with any products. And I just sweep that over. And using a sponge really gives you a precise application, so you have full control of where your tanner is going. So I do one side, and I go ahead and put some more on. The other, And using the mousse is so simple because it dries so quickly. I really like it for easy, quick application, especially for full body. It saves us a lot of time. And then I do one little one for my forehead. And that's all there is to it. I hope you found this tutorial useful using the Famous Dave's Pro Series mousse. If you're interested, we have other tutorials featuring other products from Famous Dave's, and you can find out some more tips and tricks on how to apply your self tanner.